In this video, I want to talk about an arcane concept which is called non-grouping parentheses, and we need this concept for the extract function. Here's an example for that. This is a data frame, very simple. Data frame has one column which is called variable, and it has this structure. And our goal is to separate or extract two columns from this one single column. The first column should contain these letters, and the second column should contain these numbers. Given what we've learned in the last tip, we can straightforward do the following. Extract, our column is called variable. We're gonna create two new variables or two new columns, which we call letter and number. And then we have our regular expression, which we have to define. Well, the regular expression here, the first group should be any letter between A to Z. Let's close the bracket. And then we have this arrow sign in between. And the second group should be any number. And let's keep the original column. Now, if I run this code, it works. I have two new columns, letter and number. Well, what if my structure of this column is not so straightforward? What if it's a little bit messy? For example, what if there's a space missing here? Let's just try this out. What happens now? Oh, okay, this didn't work anymore. Well, we can fix this easily by just adding a question mark here, I guess, because then there can be a empty space or not. So let's run the code, and now it works again. Perfect. But let's get even more messy with our data or our column. What if there could be two arrows in here? Well, now it gets a little bit complicated because I can't do this. I can't just say it's really complicated. What I could do, I could create another group and say, actually this group there could be an empty space here. Then we have this arrow sign, and there can be multiple of those, 0 or multiple of those. Now let me try to run this code, but now it says, the regex should define two groups, but I found 3. And I told you in one of those tips that the number of groups should match the size and the length of your vector here in the into vector. So this doesn't work clearly, and what we need is this arcane concept which we call non-grouping parentheses. Essentially, we're creating a group which we will not use, which we will not turn into any new column. And a non-grouping parentheses starts with a question mark and then a colon, and anything that goes within this structure is a non-grouping parentheses. In our case, we could have a space sign here, then we have this arrow, there could be another space, and then this whole thing could repeat itself. Also, there could be one or more of those. Now let me run this, or let me remove this maybe. Okay, not perfect yet. Let me have a quick look again. Okay, of course. Let's remove the empty spaces here. Now it works perfectly. So we've learned that non-grouping parentheses can be used if your columns is kind of messy, it doesn't fulfill a clear structure. For example, as in this examples, non-grouping parentheses start with a bracket, a curly bracket, then a question mark and a colon. Anything in between is this non-grouping thing. And we can also detect multiple of those non-grouping parentheses, such as this example. And the nice thing is we could have as many as we want to, and it would still work, as you can see here. Nice little trick. I think it's a good thing to have in your toolbox.